Welcome to the Brain Over Binge podcast, where you learn a simple, brain-based approach to ending binge eating. I'm Kathryn Hansen, your host, and I'm glad you're here for another show. I'm looking forward to exploring another topic with Coach Julie to help you as you let go of harmful behaviors with food. Before we get started, I want to tell you how to get a free resource to give you daily encouragement and guidance as you use the Brain Over Binge approach. This resource is the Brain Over Binge Inspiration Booklet, which is a free PDF booklet containing 31 days of messages to keep you motivated and focused on recovery. This is a great companion to listening to the podcast, and you can get it through the link in the show description or on the homepage of brainoverbinge.com. And now we'll get into today's conversation. Hi, Julie. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, Kathryn. So good to be here.
I am looking forward to this conversation. We've been talking about doing this for a while. We're going to be talking about yeah buts, and we're going to explain what that means. And it's something that comes up a lot in the people we work with on one-on-one sessions and in the group as well.
Totally. There are so many of them. I can't wait to dive into this.
Why don't we just start by saying, what is a yeah but?
So a yeah but is that thought from the lower brain that wants to take us down. You know, we might be doing really well. We might be eating adequately, dismissing urges, taking care of ourselves. And then the lower brain is going to look for what's not working, what is going wrong. And it is going to come at us with a yeah, but, and try to knock us down.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's like that negativity bias contained in two little words.
Exactly. I mean, there's so many of them. Should we just get started with one?
Absolutely.
I'll throw one out.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of the first ones when I'm talking about adequate eating is, yeah, but I'm too heavy. I have weight to lose. Yeah, but you don't know about my body. That's a biggie that comes up almost all the time.
We always teach the importance of eating enough food, right? You have to nourish your body in order to stop binging. But there's a lot of resistance to that. And it shows up in yeah buts. Yeah, but I can't nourish my body because I need to lose weight. It's something that really interferes with recovery for a lot of people.
Absolutely. I mean, it comes up again and again and again. It was a big topic on Sunday's call. And, you know, it's this notion of adequate eating is never what leads to weight gain. Adequate eating is what leads to healing. And if you have weight to lose with consistency over time, your body will go where it's meant to be.
Yeah, it's really seeing the falsehood of that thought. Yeah, but I can't eat adequately because I need to lose weight. If you don't eat adequately, you're going to put yourself back in that survival mode. You're going to keep binging. The cycle is going to perpetuate, which leads to more weight gain over time. So it's taking a look at these yeah, but thoughts and realizing that they're kind of automatic, right? It's the negativity bias of the brain, like I said, but you don't have to take them seriously. You can hear the yeah buts. You can say, oh, I know, I'm on to you now. I know that's not true.
Correct.
And keep moving forward with your recovery.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. You know, it's my friend Murray the dinosaur rearing his head, right? I mean, okay, so another one. Yeah, but I'm too far gone. That's another biggie that comes up, right? I've been doing this too long. I'm too old. It's been too many years. I'm too far gone. You don't know about me. I'm too far gone. That's a biggie.
Yeah, it is a biggie. And I want to back up just a minute here because I know everyone listening is going to be wondering, who's Murray the dinosaur? Can you introduce Murray a little bit?
Yes, sure. So Murray the dinosaur, and if you're listening on audio, is this little plastic dinosaur. And he was affectionately named by my parents. Don't worry, Murray. Because Murray the dinosaur is my representation of the lower brain and that negativity bias and all of the fear thoughts that we have and all of the urges to binge. Murray is there, but Murray is just a plastic toy. Dinosaurs are extinct. They don't exist. And it's just a figment of our lower brain.
Yeah, it's such a great visual of the lower brain. And when you hear that, yeah, but maybe you could try to visualize little Murray the dinosaur.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the idea is to separate yourself from that voice that says, yeah, but you're too far gone. That's a really big one. I'm glad you brought that one up. And we have a podcast titled You're Never Too Far Gone and It's Never Too Late. And I'll link that in the show description. But that one, it's just not true. You know, we've seen people recover after so many years of doing
after
this.
40 plus years. Exactly. Mm-hmm. You know, we are always spiraling up, right? And it's never too late. For every time you breathe, you have a chance to begin again. Everybody has the ability to use neuroplasticity to change their brains. Everybody has the ability to recover at any age, any stage. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, So next time you hear that thought, just realize that's the product of the habit. That's not truly you, and it doesn't represent the truth. I think a lot of times the yeah buts are there as a way to encourage us to binge, right? Like you
Exactly.
said, the yeah
Totally.
buts are a product of Murray the dinosaur or our primitive brain, and it says, yeah, but you're too far gone. You can't recover at this point, so you might as well binge. That comes next after the yeah buts.
Totally. Totally. Exactly. It is always, it's Murray trying to find a loophole because the brain is always going to seek pleasure, avoid pain, use as little effort as possible to get us to keep the habit going. So another one is, yeah, but it's too hard, right?
Yeah.
It's too hard to deal with urges. It's too hard to eat adequately.
Yeah, and as we know, really it's the opposite that's true. It's too hard to keep binging. It's too
Binging is
hard to
hard.
have this, yeah, this source of pain in your life. Everyone who's listening to this podcast, if you're struggling with binging, you know the pain it's creating. You know how much time it's taking. You know the energy that's being wasted. You know the physical health consequences that are happening. So that's what's hard. So when you hear
Exactly.
the yeah, but say that recovery is hard, remind yourself that it's really the binging that's the hard.
Exactly. Binging always and only makes everything worse. Binging is so hard. Being with an urge, it's a little uncomfortable. That's it. It's just a little discomfort, and everything is waiting for you on the other side of that urge. But everything you don't want is on the other side of the binge, and that is what's hard. And it's a hard that gets harder and harder and harder and harder with each subsequent binge. So it's about facing the truth of what's actually hard, right? Choose your hard. That's that
Yeah.
cliche, but
And of course, recovery takes some effort, right? And that's the thing about the yeah buts is sometimes they contain an element of truth. Like
sure.
obviously, we don't want you to binge in response to the yeah buts. Anytime the yeah buts say, yeah, but I can't recover, you might as well binge, that you need to dismiss. But if the yeah buts are telling you it's going to be hard, maybe you acknowledge it a little bit. Okay, I know recovery is going to take some effort, but binging is harder.
And it's also recognizing we can do hard things. It's
Mhm.
good to do hard things. Where humans like challenges. Like recovery is a challenge, but it's a challenge worth doing. And again, as I said before, binging is a hard that gets harder over time. Allowing urges gets easier over time.
Absolutely. Another yeah, but I thought of is yeah, but my life is too hard. I have too much going on right now. Do you hear that one a lot?
Yes, absolutely. That was on my list. I have too much stress in my life.
Hmm.
Right. And of course, right, it's if you have stress and then you add a binge to it, now you have more stress and all of the repercussions of the binge to deal with. So you've just made a hard life even harder. And you've taken away your ability to clearly think about what resources you can access to take care of your stress or your difficulties.
It's so important to see that, okay, like we said, there may be some truth in that, right? Your life is hard. We all have issues that we're dealing with, but that never means a binge is the solution, and a binge always makes everything harder.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, another one is, yeah, but I love binging and purging.
Yeah,
I
I
hear
do
that
hear
one a
that.
lot.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's my only source of pleasure. It's my comfort. It's the only time I let myself relax, right? There's all these reasons, and I think that all of them are from Murray the dinosaur, right? Because when
Yes.
you truly look at it from a more holistic way, it's not a way to relax, right? It's brings you so much more,
Yeah,
tiredness and stress and all that. It's none
it's
of
the
those
opposite
things.
of pleasure, right?
Right.
It is not a break. We've done podcasts on that. It's like, take a real break. You deserve a break. You deserve pleasure. You deserve to rest. Binging and purging, definitely not a break. And you've never done it and been glad you did it. You've never,
Yeah.
ever done it and woken up the next day saying, I'm so glad I did that
Yeah.
because it just leads to more misery and it just increases the difficulty of the situation.
Yeah, and if you truly loved it and it was bringing you nothing but pleasure, you would not be listening to this podcast right now. You
Such a
would
good
just
point.
be doing it without any consequences. But in no universe is it possible to binge and purge without terrible consequences. And
That's
that's
right.
something that's just so important to accept. And when it comes to this idea of like, I love it, it's pleasurable, it's my only source of comfort, I mean, that is so lower brain driven, and it's the lower
Yes.
brain calling for that temporary pleasure in the moment. So in the moments that you want to binge, yes, you're going to feel that way, right? And I think it's so, so important to accept that. There will be times when you feel like it would be comforting because it would relieve the urge, right? When you're having that urge to do the behavior that your brain is kind of hooked on, it's going to feel like the only thing you want in the moment. But please consider that that's only because it makes the urge go away. You get that temporary relief from acting on it, but it's not true comfort. It's not true pleasure. But the
Yep.
great thing is once you stop acting on that, you stop wanting it. You stop seeing it as true pleasure.
That's
So
right.
it's really that leap of faith to like get through those moments and
That's right.
realize it was never truly comforting.
Yeah, it's that false wanting. And also just recognize that there will be a period of time where nothing sounds as good as a binge, right? Like there's a period of time where your dopamine levels are going to be resetting and it will feel kind of flat and you might be kind of down, and that's okay. That's a sign of healing. And just remember, it's going to get better and better and better with each day, but you have to get through that period. And so your brain may be calling out for it, but you have to remember it never gives me what I want. It never lives up to the promise of the pleasure. So like I like that, like taking a leap of faith and just trusting that each day will feel a little lighter and a little better. And then suddenly you'll be like, I can't believe I ever wanted to do that. Another one is, yeah, but I'm a special case. Everyone else can do it, but not me. I'm a special case.
Yeah, and I think I wrote a blog post about that too. I'll put that in the show description, but it's yeah, like my case is different. I'm different than everyone else. And we all are, right? Like we all have something that we feel like would prevent us from recovery. I know I felt that way. I know most people I've worked with feel that way at some point. But gosh, if that were true, no one could have ever
That's it.
recovered, right? There would be no recovered
That's right.
people in this world. And we're, just two examples of people who had problems and issues and still recovered. So
And I mean, if one person can do it, anybody can do it. And if you've ever had an urge and not acted on it just one time, then you can absolutely replicate that. And I'm pretty sure everybody listening has had one moment where they might have had an urge to binge and they didn't act on it.
yeah, and it's about really, again, acknowledging that there's some truth in that. Everybody is different. We're all unique. We all have our own set of challenges, but the solution is still not to binge, but it doesn't prevent recovery. And a term that just popped into my head was when you have a yeah, but you can say yes and. So, like,
Hmm.
yeah, but my case is different. Yes, it's different because everyone is. And I can still recover. And binging is
Absolutely.
not a solution. And I can find healthy ways to deal with my unique challenges.
Exactly. And I can get support when I need it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, the and. It's a both and. All of these are a both and. I mean, if you go back to what you were talking about before, like acknowledge the truth in, the bit of truth in whatever the yeah but is. Yeah, but I've got some extra weight and I am on a path of healing. Yeah, but I've been doing this for a long time. And if anyone can recover, I can too. And I'm never too far gone. For each one of these, there is an and always. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
also always a healthier thought that you can put in there that you can replace the yeah but with. And I think it's important to acknowledge that these yeah buts aren't just related to binging. We all have them in so
Oh my
many
gosh.
areas of our life. Like
Exactly.
anytime you try to accomplish a goal, your brain's like, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, or always trying to find excuses, always trying to find doubt.
Correct.
And it's that negativity bias of the brain that we all deal with. So just seeing that this is universal pattern. Anyone who's ever accomplished anything has overcome the yeah buts. And, it's nothing that has to hold you back.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just a function of a healthy brain looking to protect you, right? Murray the dinosaur is trying to protect us from danger. And we don't live in caves anymore. And so there isn't a woolly mammoth waiting to eat us, but our brain still functions in that way. And so whenever we do anything new, anything a little bit uncomfortable, the yeah buts get very loud. They also get very loud when you've had a period of recovery. The yeah buts will be in a different vein. So, for example, yeah, but it's only been 3 weeks and I might fail. Yeah, but I haven't binged, but I might fail. Or, yeah, but I have a trip coming up. The brain will just, any situation, it's going to look for, where's the loophole? Where might I stumble? And again, it's, that protects us from walking in front of buses. But in this situation, it's about recognizing, okay, Murray, you can calm down. I go one moment, one breath, one urge at a time, one adequate meal at a time. And slowly it builds up and suddenly I'm not binging anymore.
Yeah, I really like that. Just talking compassionately to Murray, right? He doesn't have to be the enemy. He's just trying to protect you. But in this case, he's just a little misguided and you have to go in another direction.
Exactly. Exactly. Murray is not our enemy, right? But we also don't need to take Murray seriously. That's the big piece of this. And that, I think that's like, we're a little lighthearted here with all of these yeah buts. The thing is, it's just good to recognize it's just a function of a healthy brain looking for danger, trying to protect us. And then it's about soothing that activated part of our nervous system and saying, there's no danger here.
Yeah, and I hope that you can translate this into other parts of your life as well. I remember the first time I heard the term, yeah, but I was reading a career book when I was like in my early 20s. I was still struggling with binging, and it talked about how anytime you thought about a new career or you set a goal for yourself, you were going to get the yeah buts. And the author did all these examples. And for some reason at the time, I didn't connect it to binging, but now I see it. I'm like, oh, wow, if I would have like realized that was also happening every time my brain encouraged me to binge. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, just whether we're talking about binging, whether we're talking about any type of goal you're trying to accomplish, it's so important to be aware of the yeah buts, acknowledge there's a little bit of truth in there, but also use the yes and you can still accomplish it. And the yeah buts don't have to hold you back.
1,000,000%. And another thing that's so beautiful about what you're saying is that recovery is such a powerful journey because everything that you learn in recovery is a transferable skill to life. You learn to be with discomfort. You learn better ways to cope with your stress. You learn about neuroplasticity. You see that you can do it in one area, and then you can start applying it to other areas. And so as difficult as it was to go through the whole process, I wouldn't give it up for anything in the world. I wouldn't do it any other way because the life lessons are incredible and they're so transferable.
Yeah. Yeah, and that made me think of one final one. It's related to one you already said, but yeah, but I've already wasted so much time. And
Mm,
you could say, yes, there's been some time wasted on binging, and I've gained some valuable lessons, and I can continue
right.
to gain valuable lessons throughout my recovery that I can use the rest of my life. So it's not all wasted, you know?
No, no, not at all. And as I always say, we've always been spiraling up, and everything you learned along the way has given you wisdom and insights that have brought you here. So it's all valid. It's all valuable. All of those learning moments are the gold. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Oh, my
Thanks so
pleasure,
much.
Kathryn. And to everybody listening, if you need help with this, we're here for coaching. Come to the group. We talk about these things all the time. Or if you want one-on-one coaching, there's plenty of that too.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here to support you, whatever you need. And the links for coaching for the group are always in the show description. So, yeah, just sign up and we're happy to help you really recognize any of your own yeah buts or sort out any of your unique challenges.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Julie. It's been a great show.
Thanks, Kathryn.
In the show description, you can also check out the other Brain Over Binge resources, including my books and the self-paced online course that is only $18.99 per month with no commitment. For one-on-one coaching, you can work with me or Coach Julie, and we have a variety of time options available for the one-on-one sessions, including at night and on weekends to fit your schedule. We'd love to help you take back control and put this habit behind you for good. As I wrap up today's show, I want to encourage you and remind you that you have the power to change your brain and live a binge-free life. The Brain Over Binge podcast is produced and recorded by Brain Over Binge Recovery Coaching, LLC. All work is copyrighted by Brain Over Binge Recovery Coaching, LLC, and all rights are reserved. As a disclaimer, the hosts of the Brain Over Binge podcast are not professional counselors or licensed healthcare providers, and this podcast is not a substitute for medical advice or any form of professional therapy. Eating disorders can have serious health consequences, and you are strongly advised to seek medical attention for matters relating to your health. Please get help when you need it, and good luck on your journey.